Now I'm going to show you some samples of insects that I have made using recycled materials and one that my son has also made. Here is a dragonfly and a bumblebee that I've made and a ladybird that my son made. The dragonfly's body is made from a gift bag. The wings are made from a plastic milk carton and the legs and eyes are made from the tea bag carton that I showed you earlier. This ladybird my son made, he used a lid to make the base of the body, cut out a body and a head out of the tea bag package and legs, and then used some wrapping paper for wings and used glue and masking tape to stick it together. The bumblebee I made the base using a Weetabix box, painted it black. The wings are made from bubble wrap, sweet wrappers for the wings. That's a Weetabix package, that's a bit of wool, and I've used the bubble wrap for the eyes and some black card from the tea bag box for the legs. Now I'm going to show you how to make your own insect. You should now have identified the bug you're going to make and collect the materials that you think will be suitable to make your bug. You will also need some scissors and some glue or tape to fix it all together. Here are some of the materials that I have collected. I decided to make an Adonis butterfly, which is a blue butterfly that I saw in my garden. Here are some blue materials that I have collected. Here I printed out a template from the internet of a butterfly and cut it out of card. I then got all my materials together and started to work out which colours I wanted where and what colours I wanted at the base and what colours I wanted on the top. The Adonis butterfly has white at the tip, so that's why I started with white as my base, and then afterwards started decorating with the blue colour, leaving the tips of the wings white. I decided I didn't like the blue that I'd used on the top wings, so I used another blue. So I've taken them off and restuck them on with a different colour blue. Having cut the body out and stuck it on, I found a bit of a feather that I used for the body. If you have a look at the Adonis butterfly, it has a really fluffy body. I then used some net, which I think came from a garlic casing, to give it a bit more texture on the wings. I decided I wanted more texture on the wings and a bit more white. So I added some white fabric to the underneath of the butterfly and it just poked out over the tip of the wings that already existed. I'm now adding the head of the butterfly and cutting out some antennae out of a plastic wrapper. The antennae are really thin, so I cut a really narrow strip and just stuck it on the back of the butterfly like so. I've now just folded my wings and bent them slightly to give them a bit more of a 3D shape. And now our butterfly is done and I've put it in my display box. Here is our finished Adonis butterfly. You should have printed out the data label, and we are now going to fill it in. Fill your data label in with your name, date, the location you found your bug, its common name, and have a look online for its scientific name. Cut out your label and add it to your display box with your bug. And here we have a scientific display bug box. To find your printable worksheet, box template and data label, please take a look for the link in the description. Here are some links for a dragonfly, butterfly or cricket to make. You just need to print them, cut them out and follow the instructions to make a 3D insect. I've also provided a Woodland Trust Common UK Insect Identification web page. You will just need to search for these in your web browser.
A good example of how scientists have used British insects to find out about environmental changes are these moths in here. These moths were studied by a scientist called Mr. Kettlewell, particularly these moths here, peppered moths. He started to look at them and look at old specimens that had been collected and noticed that there was enormous variation amongst them. In fact, I've got a little drawer here that shows you how varied this one species can be. You'll see, some of them are much lighter and some of them are much darker. Now, Kettlewell noticed that there had been a change over time. And actually, as Britain had got dirtier during the Industrial Revolution and factories had been spewing out more and more smog, there were more darker ones around than there were lighter ones. He reasoned that the lighter ones stood out more in amongst all the soot and smog and so were getting gobbled up, giving rise to a larger race of darker varieties. This showed evolution in action, but it also showed how appalling and smoggy and sooty and polluted our cities were becoming. And that helped people to think about what they had to do to clear up their environment. But it's not just by making our food that insects keep our world alive. They also perform another really important job. They clear away all of the dead stuff and recycle it. If you think about it, there's an awful lot of dead plant and animal material appearing on this planet every day. So where does it go? Well, things like this burying beetle chew it up, swallow it, digest it, and poo out the waste. And they recycle all that nutrient by helping turn it back into soils for new life to grow in. And it's not just the dead stuff. Have you ever wondered where all the poo in the world goes? I mean, there's a lot of animals out there, so there must be a lot of poo somewhere. Well, again, it's the insects that recycle that for us too. This is a picture of one elephant poo. It's pretty big, isn't it? But elephants don't just do one poo a day. No, on average, elephants do 7, 8 or 9 poos a day. And that's a lot of poo just from elephants. This is a cowpat that one of our scientists here at the museum filmed. And you can immediately see how it instantly attracts insect life. Things like these flies and the dung beetles immediately arrive to start chewing it up and breaking it down and recycling all that nutrient and getting rid of all that poo for us. Oh, there's one. In fact, when you look inside the cowpat, as he did, you can see just how alive it is with dung beetles doing that crucial work of breaking down all that poo and clearing it up for us. This is a big tropical dung beetle. It's beautiful. But this one comes from a nice warm bit of the tropics where the beetles can get quite big. We have more than 50 species of dung beetle in this country, and they do an amazing job clearing up all that poo. In fact, here's a nice ball of poo that's been rolled up by a dung beetle. They'd roll it up, bury it deep underground, and lay their little egg in it. In that egg would hatch a little larvae, which would chew out a nice little hollow inside that ball of poo as a home. Lovely. So, the reason it's important to study insects, and the reason we have collections like this, it's because they are such an integral part of our life on the planet. Without the insects, we'd have nothing to eat, no chocolate, and we'd be drowning in dead stuff and poo. So pretty important to find out about them. And not just that, they're fascinating, and you can find them anywhere. In fact, have a look around your garden and see what you can find. Well, I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about insects and been inspired to find out a bit more for yourself and, of course, to create some great insect art at home. And when this is all over, we really hope you come back to the museum to visit us here and actually see some of our wonderful insect specimens for yourself.